Hello everyone and welcome back to STW Sports, and today I'm going to be going over the EFL reviews from November the 20th and November the 21st. Of course, this week there were no Sunday or Monday games, all games were played on Friday and Saturday, going with the Championship League 1 and League 2 as usual, starting with the Championship. Friday evening on the 20th of November, Coventry City 0, Birmingham City 0. Yeah, this one was a very disappointing game really. I was actually quite excited for this, the first Championship game after the international break, Friday night football, two teams who were ground sharing, and they produced a very underwhelming 0-0 where we had just one substitution. Yeah, the game never got going. It was a bit of a dull fest. Two teams who were out of form though, don't forget as well. Both teams haven't really put any rhythm together recently, and that really showed in this game. It looked like two teams who were lacking on confidence. I think if there was a crowd at this game, it would have been a lot more entertaining. But I mean, yeah, it was a dull fest of a 0-0 in the end. And given recent results, not the end of the world for both teams, but still, a goalless draw and quite an uneventful Friday night football. Saturday 21st of November, starting with the early kickoff, Bournemouth 4, Reading 2. Well, this was a very eventful game from one extreme to the other. So Reading were 2-0 up in this game at half-time and cruising. Looked like they were going to keep their place at the top of the table despite losing their last three games. Really says a lot about how well they started. But Bournemouth had other ideas, came out the second half and won 4-2. They were superb. What a performance from them. Yeah, Bournemouth got the win in the end, and a very big win, and Reading have dropped all the way to 6th after one loss when they were top of the league. That really shows how close the Championship is at the moment. Yeah, great game this one. What a result for Bournemouth, especially that second half performance. Preston North End 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Yep, Tony Pulis' first game in charge was a defeat. So Preston North End's first win of the season, their first point of the season at home in fact. So great result for them. 1-0 in the end. Sheffield Wednesday were playing with 10 men for a while in the game, but still, Preston full value for the win. A convincing, a good enough 1-0 for them. And Tony Pulis gets off to a bad start, but he'll be open. He can get this team sorted sooner rather than later. QPR 1, Watford 1. A London derby ends all square. That was not really a lot to say about this game. QPR equalised quite late, and it wasn't the best game. It was a fair draw, really, where Watford seems to be having a few draws on the road at the moment. But yeah, 1-1 was fair enough. I don't think either team was really complaining. Watford might see this as a couple of points drop. They're in a much better position than QPR. But yeah, 1-1 I think was probably fair on the day, and both teams probably just took the point and ran with it. Stoke City 4, Huddersfield Town 3. I mean, I can't believe Stoke City and Huddersfield Town played out a 4-3 thriller. I mean, two teams who were, not really renowned for playing good footballers. But, to be fair to Stoke, they're having a very good start to the season. Stoke, the best they've been for a long time. And this was another one here, a 4-3 win over Huddersfield. And all the goals were by the 60th minute as well. So very entertaining opening 60 minutes or so. Stoke get the win, and they're now just outside the playoffs. So they've had a very good start to the season, Stoke. They've got to be outsiders for promotion. After two underwhelming Championship seasons, they're really looking up this year. But yeah, what a game this was, though. A 7-goal thriller. Yeah, it was the surprise game of the weekend in terms of entertainment. An excellent game of football. Good result for Stoke. Huddersfield are doing quite well. They're doing all right at the moment, I'd say. But yeah, this was a defeat for them. Barnsley 2, Nottingham Forest 0. I mean, Barnsley are doing really well under their new manager. 4 wins in 5 games now. But Forest under Chris Hughton haven't really started as well as what I thought they would. I mean, Hughton's taken over Forest in a relatively similar position to what he did Brighton, near the relegation zone. In fact, they're in the relegation zone. But, I mean, it hasn't really clicked so far under him. They're not doing great. Barnsley, though, they're now 13th in the table. I mean, I think 13th or 12th. That's a great credit to the new manager. 4 wins out of 5. And Barnsley are doing really well, and that's fair play too. And this was a big win here. 2 late goals won it for them as well. You've got to give credit where it's due to Barnsley, though. Very good stuff from them. And it just shows what a new manager can do at times. A massive impact he's made there. And Barnsley are very much team on the up at the moment. But as for Forest, they need to start getting some consistency together. Middlesbrough 0, Norwich City 1. What a huge result this is for Norwich. I mean, Middlesbrough were unbeaten since the opening day of the season. And, Neil Warnock is a solid Championship manager. We all know that. But Norwich won the Championship 2 years ago, and they are now top of the Championship, and they're looking very good. Norwich just striking me as that sort of team who are too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. The thing is with Norwich, they've kept most of their team as well. That's a big plus for them. They were fantastic away at Middlesbrough. A 1-0 victory, a very good away performance from them. They're looking good at the moment, Norwich. I mean, it's early days to say just yet, but I think they'll be right up there this season at the moment. As for Middlesbrough, a setback for them, but yeah, I mean, they've still started quite well under Warnock, but this felt like a massive win. This game had draw written all over it. but Norwich, certainly turned that one around with a big 1-0 win. Apologies. Millwall 1, Cardiff City 1. I mean, this wasn't exactly a classic by any means, but a 1-1 draw, I think it's probably about fair enough, really. Millwall are on a bit of a bad run at the moment. Cardiff, likewise, both teams are kind of languishing around in mid-table without doing too much. So this game was kind of a draw, which both teams probably deserved in the end. It's not the worst result for either team at the same time, but yeah, a pretty underwhelming 1-1 draw, I'd say. Yeah. Luton Town 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Another game that's a draw, but again, Luton Town are doing very well this season. 10th in the table. I mean, you got to credit to Nathan Jones, of course. This time last year, just recently sacked from Stoke, and you know, had a bit of a nightmare at Stoke in the end. But I mean, he's doing a brilliant job at Luton since returning there. Though since lockdown, they've been very good and 10th in the table, and they are. I mean, they drew this game. They didn't win, which I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it's a good result for them in the scheme of things, the way they're competing with these teams. You've got to give Luton a lot of credit for being that high. As for Blackburn, they've been very hit and miss this season. Some games they've been fantastic, others they've been very underwhelming. This was a draw, so it's not a defeat at least, but yeah, disappointing overall for Blackburn. I think they'd probably have fancied themselves in a way in this game, but no, a 1-1 draw. Bristol City 1, Derby County 0. Yeah, managerless Derby fall to a 1-0 defeat. Bristol City are looking good at the moment, though. I did say at the start, they'll be up there this season, Bristol City. They had that bit of a slump a few weeks ago when they didn't win in 5 games, but I think they'll be up there this season. They're looking good. They're looking good at the moment. A 1-0 win here, and Derby are still bottom of the league. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying Derby County are bottom of the league. Whoever their new manager is going to be interesting. Will it be Wayne Rooney? Will he take over as player manager, or just as the manager? We'll have to wait and see, but I mean, interesting to see how this goes, this one, they were Derby. But as for Bristol City, a good win for them. Fair play to them. Swansea City 1, Rotherham 0. Yeah, another team who are right up there, Swansea. I do think they'll be up there this year. They got a 1-0 win over Rotherham. Again, Rotherham have had a better start than they usually do in the Championship, but they're still, you know, a 1-0 defeat wasn't the end of the world for them. But it's no points at the end of the day. And as for Swansea, good result for them. A good 1-0 win. And yeah, they keep their momentum up, Swansea. They've had a positive start to the season. Wycombe Wanderers 0, Brentford 0. I mean, Wycombe are really starting to look like they belong a bit more in the league now. They're starting to pick up results, and you offer them a draw against, you know, the playoff finalists from last year. They'd certainly have taken it. It wasn't an entertaining game by any means. It was a bit of a dull fest of a 0-0, but, you know, it's one of them. They'll take points while they can get them. They didn't get a point in their opening 6 or 7 games, so they'll certainly take these draws. 0-0 draw it was, yeah. I think that they'll probably find that as fair. As for Brentford, it's probably more points dropped. Still around mid-table, Brentford, but they're trying to make that push up there. So, moving on to Game of the Week. Stoke City 4, Huddersfield Town 3. Quite an obvious one. I mean, the last half an hour wasn't overly entertaining, but the first 60 minutes were absolutely amazing. So I'm going to have to go with that one. And for Stoke and Huddersfield to play out of 4-3, it was a great game. Result of the week, I've gone Middlesbrough 0, Norwich 1, because I just think this result for Norwich could be the one that makes them kick on. I think Norwich, it's just such a big result. I mean, I might be exaggerating it a little bit, but I just feel like it's a big result that will believe they can kick on and win the Championship. And then that's a bit of a statement this early in the season, but it just felt like a statement win from them. They're really doing well at the moment, Norwich, and they're just putting together a fine run of form. I think they're going to have a good season. And top scorer is still Adam Armstrong with 11 goals from Blackburn. He didn't score at the weekend, but yeah, he's having a fine season though, Armstrong. 11 goals in 11 games. So, but again, seems to be getting them in patches at the moment. But that's the way Blackburn are going in general. But if Blackburn can sort themselves out, you know, in the rest of the team, then they could be right up there with him up front. Moving on to League One now, 21st of November, Gillingham 1, Charlton Athletic 1. Yeah, Charlton's recent form came to a little bit of an end, I guess, a 1-1 draw. Charlton had to get a late goal to equalise in this one as well. It was fair. It was a fair point in the end, I'd say, for both teams. Gillingham are known as being very inconsistent in League One. It's just how I describe them. They nearly got a good win here, but Charlton in the end came away with a draw away from home. It's not the end of the world. Doncaster Rovers 1, Sunderland 1. Last minute, there's a lot of last-minute goals in League One and 2, I'll warn you, and this is one of them. So Doncaster scored a last-minute equaliser and denied Sunderland a much-needed win after their loss to MK Dons the previous week. But no, Doncaster drew 1-1. Great result for them. Well, I'll say it's a good result for them. It's not a great result. Sunderland, though, they need to start putting a few wins together. They're currently 8th outside the playoffs and very inconsistent, Sunderland, at the moment. It's very inconsistent. Fleetwood Town 1. No, 5, sorry. Plymouth Argyle 1. Sorry about that. So Fleetwood were absolutely fantastic. They're on a great run of form under Joey Barton at the moment. I mean, he's really got them playing to his credit. Absolutely brilliant again here. 5-1. They completely blew Plymouth away. It was a superb performance. All of Plymouth's good performances have come at home this season more than anything. But wow, Fleetwood was superb in this game. What a result for them. Convincing. 5-1. Easy enough win. Portsmouth 4, Crewe Alexandra 1. Another thrashing at home. Portsmouth beating Crewe Alexandra, a team who've just won 2 in a row. I thought Crewe were going to come into this game very confident and with their tails up, but no, Portsmouth completely blew them away, and they were very good as well. Again, Portsmouth, a team who had a rough start like last year, but they've really recovered like last year, and they're really looking good at the moment. This was a good win. 4-1 against Crewe. Onwards and upwards they go. Still in the playoffs. Accrington Stanley 0, Lincoln City 0. From hammer-ins to goalless games. So yeah, it was a goalless draw. There's not really a lot to say. Both teams are doing quite well, so it kind of suited the draw, I guess, in the end. But 0-0, not really a lot to say about it. That was pretty much all you can say about it, really. It was one of them games that just ended 0-0 in underwhelming fashion, but both teams are, doing quite well, so they won't complain too much. Rochdale 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. Yeah, I mean, this is a good result for AFC Wimbledon, and this was also a late winner. It's a late winner from Wimbledon, and it's a good result for them. It's away from home. Rochdale aren't exactly doing great, but it's a good result for them, though. Wimbledon, it's one that they probably needed in a way, especially on their travels. Wigan Athletic 1, Oxford United 2. What a result for Oxford. A relegation battle, this one down there, because Wigan are really struggling at the moment. They're just really struggling, but a great result for Oxford, though. They've had a bad start to the season, Oxford, but yeah, they got a 2-1 win away at Wigan. Wigan could go down to League 2 at this rate, which sounds weird to say. I mean, seeing Wigan in League 2 would be strange. I mean, they've been in League 1 a few times, but League 2, I don't think I've ever seen them in that in my lifetime, so interested to see how that does happen. But yeah, Oxford got a 2-1 win here, and it's a late win as well from them, so another late goal to win it for them. Burton Albion 1, Northampton Town 3. I mean, Burton Albion are really struggling at the moment. They're in trouble. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they get relegated because they just don't look like getting out of a mess at the moment. Convincingly beaten, Northampton got a comfortable 3-1 win. But yeah, Burton, a lot of people said at the start of the season they're tipping Burton to go down, and at the moment I can see it happening. They're not getting it together. They're struggling. Ipswich Town 2, Shrewsbury Town 1. Another last-minute winner, and what an important one for Ipswich. I mean, if Ipswich dropped points here, it would have been a huge missed opportunity at home to a team like Shrewsbury, who are struggling. But, I mean, what a result this would have been for Ipswich, though, for Shrewsbury. But Ipswich got the win in the end, 2-1. Big moment in their season. That's going to boost them up the table. They're already up the table, you know what I mean? It's going to keep them up the table. Peterborough 1, Blackpool 2. And Peterborough lost their first home game since Boxing Day last year. Nearly a year since they lost at home, but Blackpool put an end to that. Great result for Blackpool. They've been a weird team this season, Blackpool as well. Very inconsistent in their results. Peterborough, they have now lost back-to-back games. They're really starting to fall a little bit at the moment. I mean, they're still top of the table again. Hold on, top of the table. Sorry, but yeah, this isn't good. They're second in the table, but back-to-back defeats. But you lose games in this league, though, so I'm sure they'll sort it out. MK Dons 1, Hull City 3. Well, this is why Hull are top of the table. I kind of give away this result. Hull picks up a big win. Yeah, 3-1 away at MK Dons, and MK Dons have come into a bit of form recently, so it's a good result for Hull in the end. And yeah, they get another win, and they're now top of the table, and they've started the season very well. Moving on to Game of the Week, I've gone Fleetwood 5, Plymouth 1, mainly because I think it's the way Fleetwood played and the way they hammered them. It was very entertaining to watch, and Fleetwood were brilliant, full value for the win, so fair play to them. Result of the week, I've gone Peterborough 1, Blackpool 2. It's got to be. Peterborough's first loss at home in nearly a year. Full credit to Blackpool, great result for them, but Peterborough just starting to stumble a little bit. They've been very much reliant on their home form as well, Peterborough, and they can't let that fall because they've been struggling on the road. And the top scorer is John Marquis from Portsmouth with 9 goals. He's had a great start to the season. Moving on now to League 2, and there was a Friday night game in League 2, which was Mansfield Town versus Colchester United, which ended 1-1. Clough's first game in charge ended in a draw. Colchester got a late draw there. I mean, draw specialists, Mansfield. They are absolutely the draw specialists right now. They drew 8, I believe it is, out of their first 13 games or 12 games. That's crazy. That is just they've won one, I believe, and but they're still near the bottom, and they've drew that many. Yeah, it's one of them. Obviously, it's difficult. You don't really want to criticise that they're not losing, but there's just too many draws in there, and results like this prove that it was a draw. It wasn't great, but yeah, Colchester got a point, which they probably won't complain about. Moving on to Saturday now, Crawley Town 0, Carlisle United 3. Carlisle United were brilliant in this game. They completely blew Crawley away. I mean, Crawley are a strange team as well. I mean, speaking that they either win or they get hammered. It's one of them. Well, they're also one of them teams. But yeah, I mean, Carlisle were brilliant. Great result for them. 3-0, convincing. Stevenage 1, Bolton Wanderers 2. I mean, Bolton are starting to pull it together now. This could be a resurgence from them. I'm probably speaking too soon. But they have won back-to-back games. The results are getting better for them. I mean, it's good to see Bolton doing well. I really have a good soft spot for Bolton with how good they were while I was growing up. This was another game example of that. A 2-1 win. It's away at Stevenage, say not a relegation rival, because I don't think Bolton are in the relegation rivalries now. But, Stevenage did struggle a lot last season. But it's a good win for them, though, Bolton. Back-to-back wins. They'll be seeing this as an opportunity to kick on. As for Stevenage, 1 win all season. They're struggling. Leyton Orient 3, Harrogate Town 0. I mean, Harrogate Town have really hit a bit of a rough patch now. I mean, it's a Johnson hat-trick in this game, by the way, but Harrogate haven't won in 6 games now. They're really starting to struggle. They had that honeymoon period of being promoted, but it's just going a bit wrong for them. But yeah, they were beaten, though, 3-0 by Leyton Orient. Johnson scored a hat-trick. It was a good hat-trick as well. Credit to him, because, yeah, it's a great result for Leyton Orient. Again, they're a team who seem to hammer teams at home, but I don't know. It's a weird league. The EFL's weird. Scunthorpe United 1, Morecambe 1. I mean, both teams, Morecambe have actually had a pretty good start to the season for a team who were tipped to go down, but yeah, this was a 1-1 draw, and it wasn't exactly, anything to ride home about. Morecambe scored in the last minute to equalise, and another game that had a last minute equaliser, and yeah, Morecambe, fair play to them. It's not a bad result for them, but yeah, Scunthorpe would have seen this as an opportunity, even though they are struggling as well, and they've had a couple of good results recently as well, Scunthorpe. Tranmere Rovers 5, Grimsby Town 0. Oh, Ian Holloway must not have been a happy man after this. Yeah, Tranmere Rovers are having a bit of a resurgence. I've had you to win League 2, Tranmere, so you best not let me down. But yeah, 5-0, and yeah, 5 in a row in all competitions. Fair play to them, though. Great result. 5-0, easy enough. Tranmere were brilliant. Salford City 3, Bradford City 0. I don't really know what's going on at Bradford right now. I thought they'd be doing all right this season. I thought they'd be doing well. It hasn't quite worked out yet. It might be a case of it not clicking. Salford have been inconsistent, but they're doing well. I mean, I'm surprised they sacked the manager. Of course, they have got in a manager now. But 3-0. They were brilliant, Salford. They were 3-0 up at half-time, actually. They completely blew them away. I mean, it was absolutely, brilliant from them. 3-0 Salford, that's all there is to really say about this one. It was a great win for Salford and a bad result for Bradford. Newport County 1, Port Vale 0. Well, Port Vale are on a very bad run of form at the moment. I mean, they scored in the dying seconds, though, Newport. They had to win it very late, and they did. They won it 1-0 in the last minute, and they've gone 3 points clear at the top. Cambridge didn't play this weekend, by the way, but yeah, what a result, what a big win that could be for Newport. They were looking good at the moment, to their credit. They really could be a shock factor this season. Barrow 2, Forest Green 2. I mean, Forest Green literally scored in the last minute here. Barrow have had that done to them about 2 or 3 times this year, where someone has scored in the last minute to pretty much break their hearts. I actually feel for them. Yeah, 2-2, and Forest Green earned the draw. Fair play to them, because it wasn't looking good for Forest Green at one point in the game, and they were struggling, but no, they came back and they got a draw. And okay, not an amazing result away at Barrow, but Barrow is starting to grow into this league now. But Forest Green, and this is a big, it's a big point. It's not a bad point in the end for them. Exeter City 1, Oldham Athletic 2. I mean, this was a turn up for the Bucks. Exeter have been in really good form, actually. They're unbeaten for a while, and Harry Kewell's Oldham go there and won 2-1, and they're near the bottom of the league. I mean, this is just EFL football for you. It can happen in the EFL, and that's why I love it. 2-1 Oldham, big win for Harry Kewell's men. Picked up a late win. Moving on to Cheltenham 3, Walsall 0. Yep, good result this for Cheltenham. A convincing 3-0 victory. And yeah, that was all I can say. They were excellent. Easy enough win. And now going on to Game of the Week, I've gone Barrow 2, Forest Green 2, mainly because it had a last-minute goal, and it had drama, and it had a heartbreaking scenario in it. That sounds very dark, but yeah. Result of the week, I've gone Exeter City 1, Oldham 2. Yeah, good result for Oldham. Beating Inform Exeter, great result. And top scorer at Paul Mullen from Cambridge with 12, even though they didn't play this weekend, which says a lot about how good he's really been. But yeah, that's it, everyone. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back soon, and I'll see you soon. Bye.